Hello out there, and welcome to the Heavy Montae Comedy Show and the Heavy Montae Podcast. Today, we're going to talk about Fox News first. Well, we know that Fox News has been in business for 20 years, teaching ignorance and hatred. I want everybody to go find the tape of Greg Gutfield where he said on national TV in front of an audience that the judges need to shut up. You understand? But he wasn't saying that when Donald Trump got immunity from a corrupt Supreme Court. He wasn't saying that. So that proves to me and all you maggots out there that Fox News is state-run media. They're good for nothing. Okay? They're responsible for your suffering now. So, but a friend of mine sent me something today, and I'm going to read it to you. He said that imagine being so stupid that you look, and I have to take my glasses off because I cannot read with them on. Okay. But I want to take the time to read this. He said, my friend sent this to me. Imagine being so stupid that you look at Donald Trump, a treasonous traitor, totally corrupt, self-serving, an ignorant clown, a racist, semi-literate, a semi-literate moron. This sexually assaulting, pathologically lying, feeble-minded, morally bankrupt, constitutionally illiterate simpleton. This bloated nitwit with his cotton candy hair, radioactive tinted skin, and obese dishevelment. And think, now you admire that guy. I'm talking about the people who voted for him. Do you admire that person? Now, after you've seen who and what he is, and everything about the Republican Party today is not good for America. Now, I want to go to something that I wrote down today. I want to tell everybody out there, and you maggots especially, the federal government is your friend. They are invisible sometimes, but now we can see, and especially in the red states, where these subsidies for heating and electricity and natural gas has gone away. And they say some people electric bills have ballooned to $300, $400, $500, $600 because of the federal subsidies gone. You know, when your forests catch on fire, America, the federal government comes to your aid. But we have no government right now. You know, I earlier talked about Chuck Schumer. Now I'm realizing that Chuck Schumer was right. Because the good thing about what Chuck Schumer did is this is a Republican bill. They passed it. It's passed. They can't say that the Democrats created it. They are responsible now for taking away your Medicare, for your hospitals closing, and for you starving in the red states. Because red states, you need to go out and tell everybody you know to subscribe to the Heavy Montae YouTube channel. Because I'm going to tell you why. If you only learn one thing, learn that the federal government is your friend. Okay? The federal government pumps money into your state. But your state is controlled by maggots. The Supreme Court, the court systems, the legal systems, the prisons, they're running a game. Because you can look around your neighborhoods and your streets and see what's going on. The federal government tried to come in there, Joe Biden, and pump in money. They don't want to do that. They want to control all the money. Those maggots in your state that you vote for, and you go on Sunday and listen to them in the maggot church, and they tell you and give you a fourth grade political mind, and you don't know what's going on because you're dependent on those guys. You never would think that your minister would teach you wrong. You never would think that the mayor in your city, okay, or that maggot on your school board would lead you wrong, but they have an agenda, and their agenda is to turn you into who they are. And now they're suffering because they realize that the federal government is their friend. And if they don't realize it now, well, I feel real sorry for them. So this is what we have to do, America. We as a people, on the left and on the right, have to come together and remove this criminal Republican Party. We can do it in about a couple of more months, all right? A year and some months now. I think he's been in maybe 2 months or something, or going on 3 months. So a year and some months, we can get him out of there. You see what I'm saying? But I want to say something that I said on my last podcast, because I always like to address the last podcast. When I said that Donald Trump is owned and he's a puppet for the Republican Party, when I said that, okay, I stand by that. In my opinion, he's a puppet. He has no power. And the only thing that he's trying to get right now is a pardon. Because without a pardon, he's going to go to jail. So I don't know when he's going to give it up. But this is the wisdom of an old man. This is what I see. And this is what I think. I think that he's doing as much as he can to force somebody to come up and say, man, we had enough of you. You're going around talking these crazy ass tariffs and fighting our enemies, and you're hanging out with Vladimir Putin, and you say you're kicking out, criminals and rapists, and you're one. So you got to go. You need to get on out of there. We're not so particularly worried about J.D. Vance because he's an idiot. His approval rate, he's going into the presidency with a 0 approval rating because he's going to be the next president. Because Donald Trump ain't looking like he on his last leg. He's sitting in the office, giving interviews, saying some crazy stuff. And the Republicans are going to have to do something before that midterm because if they don't, Donald Trump is finished anyway. And they're finished. We have 217 Republicans in the House right now, they say. Not one of them should be reelected. If you vote for one of them, you might as well kick your own self in the ass. You vote Democrat, straight ticket. Doesn't matter if that Democrat is progressive or whatever he calls himself. Okay. Do not ever vote for a Republican because the Republicans stink, and they stink with the smell of Donald Trump, their leader. No, their puppet. The guy who they put there to say, okay, we can do all this dirty stuff to the American people. And we can blame it all on this idiot and said he had dementia and he was sick in his head and all that stuff. And he had all the power over us. But we know they are notorious liars. You know that, right? You know you can't trust a word coming out of a Republican's mouth. Now they're going home to their districts. And the people are booing him. The line on the hill from MAGGOT Mike Johnson is do not hold the town hall because they will find out who and what we are. They're in it for the money. Our money. You understand? Now, the last thing I want to say here is our good man, Mr. Elon Musk. He got his ass in a trap. They say that he can become penniless over this Tesla stuff. And I sure hope he does. I hope he loses every damn thing he got. Because they say everything that Donald Trump touches die. But America, this is the greatest nation in the world. And we can do and survive the test of a coward convict if we all stick together. I don't want to stay too long and talk to you too long. But I do want to say to you, I am very ashamed, okay, what's going on with them picking up the so-called gang members without a trial and deporting them wherever. That means that no one is safe in America under Donald Trump. You're not safe, maggot. you better get yourself in line and come on over to the good side and take off that maggot outfit instead of that maggot church and become a Democrat. All right, come on, we'll take you in. We're not gonna beat up on you. You see, we won't even talk about it. We let bygones be bygones. But we all got to get rid of these clowns. All right, this is the Heavy Montae Comedy Show and the Heavy Montae Podcast. Love you all.